So to start out this tutorial, I blocked out my eyebrows with Elmer's glue. I didn't go quite as thick as you would do normally with dry cream makeup, basically because normally you have eyeshadow going up pretty high when you do it that way. In this case, it's going to be a nude eye color right here, and my eyebrows are only going to be lifted up to where, if you can see it, my natural wrinkles are. And also I used Benefit Professional to help smooth out this area a little bit more because it isn't quite as thick. And yeah, there's a bit of textural issues when you block out your eyebrows and reshape them. I also used a moisture-rich primer from Eve Pearl because it's very dry out, and I'm letting that soak in along with Blackjack lip balm, just so that my skin's prepped for when I actually do apply the foundation and lip colors. Also because I'm using red eyeshadow, it's gonna have fallout no matter what I do, so the idea is like do the eyeshadow makeup first, clean up any fallout, and then proceed on to the rest of the face. Now first I've applied my eyeshadow primer, and this one's from Line. It's been discontinued. Can I get in screen? There it is. It's a very thick primer, and I absolutely love it because it makes any eyeshadow I put on not crease when I hood the lids. Unfortunately, it's a little too tacky when you're dealing with an concealed brow like this. So if you're going to use it, I recommend just tapping it in rather than trying to spread it with your fingers, because it will start to lift the edges of the glue stick. The next thing I'll be doing is concealing my dark circles as well as the blueness in my eyebrows. And for that I'm going to be using Pixie's color corrector, which only comes in a peach shade. But the nice thing about this is it's also silicone based, so it works as an eyeshadow primer as well, which is great because it's going to be going over top of my brows and the dark circles down here. Next I'm going to be taking Blanc type eyeshadow. It's definitely head pan on this one. Love it because it is really opaque, but it's still not too dry. And I'm going to do this first instead of the eyeshadow. That way, hopefully the eyeshadow won't get too out of hand when I start applying the red. I'm going to also use it for blending and fading out the color as well. So in this case, I'm just packing it on. I don't want to sweep because I don't want to move or disturb whatever you laid down between the glue and the concealer. Next I'm going to take the from the Coastal Scents palette, these two, look at the frame, these two red shades here, and I'm going to blend the two to just give me a more deepened berry red rather than a bright fire engine red. Now for this I'm just going to pack it all over. I just want to get the general shape with full color. I'm going to blend it out later just to give a softer, rosier effect. Basically just pouncing this on. Next I'm going to start to clean up this area, and I'm going to look into the viewfinder because I can't look down and do it at the same time. Now that it's all cleaned up, I'm going to again take Blanc type and start to fade out the colors. So Blanc type again. And in terms of like how many shades you need, basically 3. Again, the idea is just to fade the color out. Applying around the edges first before I start blending it out and diffusing it. And with the same brush I was using with the eyeshadow, I'm just going to go back in and bring back a little bit of the color without adding any more product there. right now I'm trying to match the two. Next I'm going to take a face powder. This is just one from Wet n Wild. It's the lightest powder you can actually find, and just highlight a bit more of the brow bone. And lots of fallout with that brush. Next I'm going to take this MAC Opal pigment. It's got this beautiful pink iridescent sheen, which is really great for emphasizing eyes that are not as defined. So I'm going to use it at the center lid and inner corner. Another option, since you've already have the palette, if you have the palette I should say, that I'm working with, is this bottom pink shade right here. It's very pink, but it has a very similar color to what Opal ends up turning out to look like on the lid as well. So for this I just take it loose on my finger, nothing special there. And you can see it's very, very, very white when you first start packing in, but once you start warming it up with your fingers, it ends up creating a much more pink iridescent sheen on the lids. Out. More in the center. Tap it out again. Now if you got it spread out too far, you can go back in again with the same brush you applied the eyeshadow and just deepen the outside edges a little more again. And if you don't have enough, ooh, oh, that was good. Now, this side isn't quite as opalescent on that side, just pack it a tiny bit more again, right, try to get the center. You can use a brush too, but I find that the warmth of your fingers really ends up blending this kind of pigment into your skin a lot nicer. Next I'm going to use a small shader brush to do my inner corner. Ooh, and too much right there. And I'm checking both sides to see if they're matching up again. Next I'm going to take Geek's Drama Queen eyeshadow. I'm going to use this on the lower lash line just to give it a little definition to the eyes. Mila's completely just washed out. She doesn't look like she's wearing eyeliner, but in this case I want to give my eyes a little more definition so I don't look like I got socks in the eye. I'm going to film this off camera though, so we'll see this in a second. Next I'm going to take Physicians Formula Boosting Eyeliner, and I'm going to again do this off screen because it's really hard to draw a really thin line along the upper lash line. I'm doing this just so that I'm going to be wearing a pair of false lashes, and it helps to blend into without being too strong of a line, just to have the lash band be less noticeable. Next I'm going to use MAC's Pure White Chromaline just to do the waterline. Mila, originally I was going to use a nude, but it looks too pale on my skin tone. And it wasn't a pink either because it would end up flushing out the eyeshadow a little too much. And I'm going to do this again off screen because I have to tilt my head towards the mirror to be able to see my waterline properly. And now that I've got the gel liner, I've tried to blend it so that the pink bleeds into from the inner corner, just so it doesn't look so harsh. I'm also going to set it with the white from the same palette, and this is like a satin white. I'm going to use the same brush I took originally, which was the Bdellium 760, and I'm just going to tap that in again. Next I'm going to use my favorite mascara currently, and it's the It Cosmetics Tightline, which is a really, really tiny brush, and I love it because it separates and coats my lashes. I'm not looking for a lot of drama or thickness because I want to keep my lashes natural and not too heavy. I'm also going to be wearing false lashes on the upper lash upper eyeline, lash line. But basically it's just to I'm just doing this just to blend in my natural lashes, which are very blonde still from when I was a child, and fill out and clean up basically the white that's frosting my lower lashes. Now for the most part that's the completed eye. I will be adding lashes in the brow after I've done my foundation, which is coming up next. Also, my lashes are naturally curled, so I didn't bother to curl them just because the slope will still blend in with the band pretty well. I don't like using mascara on my false lashes because it makes it harder to clean them afterwards and reuse them later on. Next up, my foundation's all set. I'm going to be starting to contour. Now I'm going to work between two palettes. The first one being this Mother's Home contour palette. You can get it on eBay. I'm not even sure if this brand is still existed, but has a really nice taupe shades in there, and yeah, it's kind of hard to find them. Even the NYX taupe blush doesn't even retail in stores in Canada, so I'm a little more on the hunt for another shade. I'm also going to use my Makeup Forever Sculpt 2 kit. Now this is the first contour kit I've ever bought, and it's really lasted me a long time. This is the lightest shade of highlighter, powder highlighter, just to illuminate certain areas of your skin, but there's no shimmer to it, it's matte. This shade is workable. I usually have to knock it down with this powder to kind of like cast more of a shadow on it. It's a neutral brown, which works on most skin tones, but it reads a little too warm on my skin. I'm going to start with the lighter taupe shade, just to map out where I'm going to be applying it. Now, part of the reason why I'm tapping is because I do have like I'll list it down below, but it's called chicken skin, at least most people refer to it. I have it all over my body, and unfortunately right now, because it's so dry, I'm developing more of it along the cheeks here. So if I tend to really wipe with this particular powder, I end up getting like spots, which may look kind of like freckles, but it's not particularly nice when you're trying to get a nice even gradient. Doing the temples as well. Also brush some of that into the hairline here because I've accidentally lightened it a bit with the foundation. Normally I wear wigs, so for my cosplays anyways. I'm not usually worried about that. And I also do under the chin. Now this angle's not too bad, but like half the time I'm getting photography pointing towards me, like they're usually shorter than me, and I all of a sudden look like I have a double chin. So to prevent that casting to look too noticeable, I'm basically gonna see if you can see I've got a little ridge right here, and I'm gonna contour below my jaw rather than on my jaw because I want the jaw to be very sharp and light, but I want this area to recess more so than sharpening my actual jawline. And bring it down into my neck so it looks like it's casting a bit of a shadow instead of it stopping abruptly. And go back in with that lighter taupe and do behind the jaw as much as I can. Just sharpen it up a little bit. And right behind the ear. Basically, I only want to start blending once I've deposited enough of the contour shade so it doesn't drag and catch on any texture on my skin. Now to warm myself up, because I do have that option now, I'm going back in with the Makeup Forever, if I can open it, the contour shade here. It's a little bit darker. I had to use it very like that's even almost too much right there. So I basically just tap it into the powder, and again, working from the back, bring it forward, kind of warm up the temples here. Next I'm going to go into with the highlight powder, and this is just to brighten this area. Yeah, it gives a really nice pop, especially if you're someone as fair as me. Next I'm going to take a small eyeshadow brush. You can have an angled one or this little fluffy one. But basically I want it to be really thin. I want to do a little contouring on my nose. I kind of hit and miss whether or not I want to contour my nose. It's usually a case of point. I just want a little subtlety to it, but sometimes it can look a little too harsh when I'm doing a female character, especially a younger one. I mean younger like teenager, but also because Mila's got more slightly a button nose, I'm going to try to recreate that as well. And the eyeshadow I'm using is actually from the NYC palette. I think it's Union Station. I'll link it down below, but it's just basically one of the matte shadows I got out of there. It's a great dupe for Cork from MAC as well. So I'm going to take that very lightly, create a shadow here too, because I'm going to be arching the brow anyways. Just take it down the nose. Now that's still definitely blend it out. I'm just mapping it out first. Lots of definition, but you don't want to see any harsh lines when you're doing this. It's amazing how little product you need to do that. I'm gonna add a little bit here to the bridge of the nose. Not a lot, but just so this center point of my nose is actually standing out more. Do a little bit here too. Just to give my nose some definition. Now I'm gonna go in with this yellow. Actually, yellow? Yeah, we'll go with the yellow. Just to blend it all out because it's closer to the undertone of my skin. And I'm going straight over the contour itself as well because I just want to soften the whole look of right there. So I blend it sideways as well. And blend the edges more. You basically don't want to be aware of that contour, especially on a nose, because your nose, depending on the direction it's going in, it's going to be much more visible to people to see that they've done something there. Whereas people, this will always look recessed no matter which angle the contour of your face is. Now, because I've got that light, I'm just going to take a tiny bit and tip of my nose, not too much. A little bit down here. And then I'm blending off the excess right here. All of a sudden, it just adds so much glow there without even like adding any shimmer. So the next thing I'm going to do is, Mila looks like she had some pink contour or rosiness on her contour, let's put it that way. And I'm going to use 2 shades for this, and they're going to be very, very desaturated because I don't want to go overwhelmingly on the blush because it's just such a subtle accent. It's really pretty. First shade I'm going to use is Spellbound blush from Makeup Geek, and it's this warm, rosy, peachy color. I'm taking a very little amount on the brush. Basically, I'm just follow the contour. And the next blush I'm going to use, if we get it out, is this kind of dusty mulberry shade, which Inglot's 55 blush. They don't have any names, but it gives it a more berry tone. Now that I've already warmed it up. Unfortunately, I wasn't recording when I was showing you how to do the eyebrows, but I'm going to need to fix that as well. I'm going to show you how to create some little lines in the eyebrow shape, just so it gives it, at least from a distance, some life to these brows instead of just being painted on. And I'm just using a taupe eyebrow pencil just to draw in some lines. Give it a little texture. Next up is the lips. I'm going to use 3 products in this case. I'm going to be using the 2 of the Annabelle Twist Up waterproof lip liners. These are in Berry and Glam Red. They're more of a cool tone for both of them, so they're going to work well. I'm also going to be using Too Faced's Melted Berry lip color, because it's very similar to what Mila has, and this dries down to more of a matte but not completely matte finish. And I'm going to be starting with the berry to line my lips on the outside, because I want to create a little bit more fuller lips. I again have really small features, so in this case my lips are not quite as plump as Mila's, and I'm not going to go too far out, but I'm just going to give my lips a little more definition. And using this berry tone as the contour will allow it seem like a natural gradient, and also gives you a sharper edge to the lips. Next I'm going to use the Melted Berry lip color. I'm going to take it off with the brush just so I'm not going outside the lines I created already with the lip liner. And this will definitely cool down the reds you're seeing in here. Next I'm going to do is add the rhinestone to the middle of my lips, but because the rhinestone is so small, I'm going to pre-glue my lips instead of applying it to the rhinestone itself, because it keeps snagging on the tweezers I'm using. So I'm using this Revlon glue, eye glue, and I'm just going to put a dab right in the center of the lip. And then apply. So off screen I popped on my pair of lashes I'll be wearing, and they used Mila's original eyelashes of course, but because I want a little more punch in terms of like what you can visibly see. These are the Fairy Noir from House of Lashes, so they're really dense at the base and they do have those spiky fluttery tips, and yeah, so this is the completed makeup. Now on to the costume. First you want to do your hair up into a bun. Now she has a side swept bun. In the back it looks like there's extra hair wigglets or extensions in there to give her a fuller crown of hair. In this case I'm just adding some flowers I repainted just to make sure that they all match the same. And I'm just there's a few in her hair that are visible from the front, so I'm just pinning them there. Next is a crown, which I created to be fairly lightweight. It also has 2 gator clips to help secure them to the head without messing up the hairdo. So this is a completed Jupiter Ascending Bridal makeup for the Queen. I hope you enjoyed it. This crown I actually will be selling on my store? Yeah, we'll say it but I'll link it down below. I was kind of debating on doing the complete costume, but I was just happy to be able to do this. It was kind of a fun project. I'll also post down below a tutorial on how I created this one. And yeah, can I even fit this in the frame? Can we just check this out? Oh, it's too big. It is surprisingly light, but it is definitely massive. Yeah, so if you like this tutorial, like, subscribe, comment down below if you have any requests. I am definitely open to doing more character and makeup looks. So until next time, thanks for watching!